Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Lori here, um, doing my usual Sunday. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. I know a lot has happened since this week started. A lot of things are constantly happening with the GLP-1 industry, the lawsuits, stays. Stop orders are happening. Mochi's having to find new pharmacies. It just never ends. There's just so much going on. So let's talk about it. So this is what's going on here. Let me just get this up here so I can see it better. Sorry, a little technical difficulty. New setup here, new computer. Apologize. Okay, okay, here we go. There's expand. Oh, what? Didn't want that. All right. So I'm not able to see the comments. Sorry about that. But let's go on with the live. Speech me or I'm trying to see why I can't see these comments. Comments. There we go. Got them now. There we go. Carol Morris Jarrett says, "Hi, how you doing? Doing good." So let's start off with Akita. So they've gotten a stop order, meaning that they can no longer make or sell the compound. I'm going to pull it up on my phone here so I could actually read it to you. The Quality Assurance Commission issues limited stop service on the pharmacy. So uh, they have to stop the service pending further legal action. The pharmacy is located, blah, 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 Kirkland, Washington. The notice of limited stop service alleges that Aquita, which compounds glucagon-like peptide 1s, GLP-1s, such as semaglutide and tirzepatide, failed to develop and implement a commission-approved plan of correction to correct deficient practices or conditions. The deficient practices include allowing untrained and unqualified staff to perform sterile compounding not properly supervised, and not adhering to sterile compounding procedures designated to ensure the product's integrity and patient safety. Equina cannot compound or cannot dispense, deliver, or distribute compounded products in Washington state until this limited stop service is resolved. They have 28 days to respond. So basically, they were stopped, and now they're teamed up with Mochi. Mochi says that anything that they have sold is safe, not to worry about that, which is good to know because I use them. I actually got a shipment Friday, and it did come from Akita, so I'm glad I'm very comfortable using it. I just think I'm not even sure if there were real violations or if this is just big pharma trying to get these bigger pharmacies to stop making and selling the compound. You never know these days. We'll have to see if it happens to anybody else or if it's just them, and that way we'll know if it's real or not. Uh, again, Mochi has said that anything that they have sent with them or used from them is safe and not to be afraid to use it. And I'm going to take their word for it. They're a pretty big company because when it all comes down to it, Mochi is responsible. They're the ones that we use as patients. We don't pick the pharmacy, they do. So, if they were really worried about this or really worried that somebody was going to get injured hurt or sick from these medications, you would think that they would do something about it because they would be the people getting sued. Because, like I said, we go to Mochi as our telehealth provider, and they pick the pharmacy. And they have several pharmacies that they use. I know now they're using Red Rock. They're probably using Empower. I have used both. Not me personally, but telehealth companies that I've dealt with have used both of those, and they're both good companies. So we'll take it as that. Mochi says it's business as usual, but considering that they were primarily dealing with them, like I think it was like 90 some percent with them, does that mean them using Red Rock or Hallandale or Empower or any of the other pharmacies? Does that mean that they're going to run short? Because that's a lot of people that they all of a sudden have to start selling to. So we'll have to see if that creates any type of shortage. So again, be aware of this because when you're ordering, no matter what telehealth company, it may take, a day or two extra because I don't know exactly how many patients that Mochi has, but they are one of the biggest, are now using other pharmacies. So they may have to scramble a little bit, these other pharmacies, to provide the medication for all these other people. They say that they can, but like I said, don't be surprised if, instead of taking its usual, you know, 5, 7 days, it takes 8 or 9 or 10. So just be prepared and, be aware of this when you are ordering your new refill, whether it be from Mochi or any of the other companies, because again, one of the biggest pharmacies was just knocked out of the race for a while. And in the same week, we had news that Novo Nordisk has made their pens available through, I think it's called NovaCare, which is very similar to Eli Lilly's, own brand. And I think every dose was 400 or 499. I'd have to look that up, but it is a reduced price, not as inexpensive as these compounding companies, but it's also the pen as opposed to the vials. Uh, and remember, with Eli Lilly, you get individual vials. So when you order a month, you're going to get 4 different vials, one for each week. That's so that people don't do dose splitting. And with Eli Lilly, if you don't reorder in 45 days, the price goes up. Again, this is also to help prevent dose splitting. And their 12.5 and 15 are still not available. I would assume that they will be soon because that's obviously the route that they're going because they weren't making their shareholders happy or making enough money for their shareholders by selling it at $1,000 to $1,200. So they're going to have to lower their prices and sell more. That's the only way that they're going to make these big numbers that the shareholders are expecting. So the more competition and the more people get in the race like this, the better in the long run it's going to be for us. And remember next year that they're also going to have the retatrutide and the new oral medication. I'm kind of looking forward to the oral medication because it doesn't need refrigeration. You take it daily, so that might be a good route for people on maintenance like me. Again, still on my maintenance, still weighing about the same thing. I pop up and down between 118 and 120, 121, depending on what I've eaten that day or how much water I'm carrying. A lot of factors go into it. Whether I've worked out, whether I've had a lot of electrolytes, because I use a salt-based electrolyte. I'm cutting back on that. I only want to have no more than 2 a day. Uh, I don't think it would hurt me to have more, but I do know that in the blood test they do check your electrolytes, so I wouldn't want to have too many of them. And I think I do have a doctor's appointment coming up with for my regular routine physical in a month or so. So I just had blood work drawn through Mochi and everything was great. They don't do the full panel that the a regular physician does, but they do your cholesterol, your lipids, your bad cholesterol, your A1C, and kidney function. And that was basically about it. So that was looking great. Happy with that. I do like the fact that you could get, included in your $79 monthly fee, along with as many nutritionist visits as you want. And also, um, you get to talk to the telehealth nurse practitioner as many times as you need to. So that's all really good. And I want you all to be aware. Let me pull this up on my Facebook here because there are a lot of ads going on now of companies that are trying to. Of course, now that I pulled it up, that's Join Mochis. I'm getting a lot of people that are pharmacies that are trying to just get rid of their medications, and of course now it's not there. Let me look up priority. Let's priority meds. Well, anyhow, they're having. Of course, I can't pull it up now because I, whenever I go on Facebook, I can't stop getting these ads now that I'm on Facebook and want to show it. Of course, I can't get these ads, but anyhow, they're having a big sale to get rid of all that they have because, excuse me, they have to stop selling it, and because they've only been in business about 6, 7 months, so I guess they're not gonna fight with the big pharmacy companies. My sound is skipping, white noise. Is it getting any better? Is the sound getting any better? I don't know what white noise is. Oh, I'm going to just continue. Hopefully it's gotten better. Let me move my microphone. Maybe that'll help. Okay, I just try to move my microphone. It's showing here that it's fine. So anyhow, Priority Meds has been in business, I think it's like 6 or 8 months, and they're selling their tirzepatide. I think they're saying it's 219. Stock up because they have to stop selling it. And I'm reading like really bad reviews because one, they've only been in business 7 months, and also people are saying that they haven't received it, and if they are going to go out of business, let's say the end of the month, and you haven't gotten it, who are you going to complain to? Some people say that they've gotten it and they're actually getting it in powder form, meaning that they have to go out and get sterile water and actually mix it up themselves, which, you can get the sterile water on Amazon, that's not a problem, but it would be really easy to mess up your dose, I would think, doing that. And who wants to do that? So, very bad reviews. Look for more of these to come. Look for these little spas that are going to be trying to get rid of all of their stock. Again, who knows about it? I brought you here some. This is where I used to get it from Skinny Meds, and this is basically how it came. Bag like this. It wasn't even cold. They had in a plastic bag, kind of like what you would get in the fish market, a couple of ice cubes tied up, and it's already a pre-filled syringe marked 7.5, no bud date on it, a little sticker that says Trizepatide. Now, I've used this, and so my friends, because when I first started on the medication, I really didn't know anything about compounding. I didn't really even know too much about the drugs. People are saying, "Oh, you get it so much cheaper than getting name brand. You just get it from compounding." And I didn't know. I'm like, "What is somebody making this in the garage or something?" I didn't know. So when one of the guys that I work with said, who's also a part-time race car driver, said that him and his entire crew, they've been taking it for like 2 months, and they've been losing weight, and they feel fine, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, give me the name. Got the name. Did the telehealth visit, and set up some 2.5s to come and also a thing of fives. Uh, Again, this is how it came in these little plastic little things. It came warm. I called them up and they're like, hey, they were in Tampa. They're like, this is all South Florida. It's going to be warm. Nothing we could do about it. Well, Empower, Red Rock, all of them, they don't have any problems getting it to us cold. And then I'm like, well, which pharmacy are you using? And then all of a sudden he was like, well, tell you what, I'm going to start FedExing it for you for free. How's that? And that's good, but I just kind of want to know what pharmacy you're using. And they're like, tell you what, we're going to give you $40 off of your next order. I'm like, okay, figured he's not going to tell me. I've been using it now, a little bit, feel okay, and did a little bit reading up on it, and it's a very stable thing. It just may not be 100% effective. I'm like, I'm kind of okay if it's only 95% effective. As a matter of fact, the guy who's supposedly the manager said, yeah, you should be okay if it's 75% effective. And I am. Just like I would have absolutely no problem using something after the bud date. Try not to, but I have no problem. I don't care if it's only 98, 95% effective. But anyhow, so I was using them, and then that big shortage came, and my wife, who's a type 2 diabetic, she couldn't get her meds. So, excuse me, I called them up. She got the telehealth doctor, and they sent her in her dose. She got, I don't remember if it was a 1 month or a 3 month supply. I think it was a 1 month supply because then I hit a stall and I was going to go up to 7.5. And then I figured, well, if she's going to go up, I'll just get a 3 month supply. And lo and behold, all of a sudden that 3 month supply was going to be like $1,800. And I'm thinking, if I was eligible for the coupon, that's name brand would be cheaper. I'm like, who the hell are they? So, not knowing any other compound company, I did order some, just, a month's worth, just to hold me over until I could find another company. And then I started using, let's see, what was the name of that? Uh, I don't even know if they're in existence anymore. Care Clinic. And Care Clinic was fine. The only thing I didn't like about them is that anytime you needed a refill, you had to schedule a telehealth visit, and that's how they did their refills. Which, being in the medical profession, I'm not a doctor, don't claim to be, but not a bad idea. But I'm a really busy person, and to get our schedules right and to be able to do this telehealth visit, I'm like, this is gonna kind of be a pain in the butt. So after that month, well, not about 2 weeks into that month, I decided, okay, I'm going to try Orderly. So I filled out my paperwork from Orderly, uploaded the prescription and all that. I was going to, they said that they would contact me as to the next day or so that I can make the telehealth visit. And like 2 hours later, I get a text that goes, I'm the doctor from Orderly. Now you don't need to schedule an appointment, and I'm going to up your dose to 10. Thinking, well, that's kind of strange. I mean, a little turned off by that, but I figured, well, maybe because the prescription was so new, it was only a month old, that I don't exactly know why they moved me up. Maybe because I didn't lose a lot of weight in that 2 weeks. I don't know. So lo and behold, the first one came, and that one came from Red Rock, I believe. And no problem. Back Care Clinic, I think they used Empower. Again, no problem. They did use these big styrofoam cooler things, which I thought was kind of a waste. And again, bad for the environment and all that, but that's a whole different topic. I do like the little box and the little thing that Mochi uses because it's um, a small footprint to be using. So that is one good thing with them. But anyhow, then I got the one from Orderly, and then after about 2, 3 weeks, all of a sudden they came out with multi-dose. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the multi-dose. And this is their multi-dose. I got four of them. I only have two left in here. Um, yes, I am stockpiling a little. Sue me. Oh well, what can I say? So came cold, no problem. It just took a long time. They were not ready for this multi-dose, and they probably shouldn't have rolled it out until they were ready. That's just my opinion. I was told, heard from other people they were fine on their single dose, but their multi-dose was taking a while. Hopefully now, since I've been with Mochi for I don't know 4 or 5 months, hopefully they've gotten better. But Mochi's a little bit cheaper. Mochi has a great reputation, so I'm with Mochi. And again, I like Mochi. I have no problem with them. I like their small footprint. You add the $199 any dose and the $79, they're still cheaper than most of them. And again, they offer a lot of services. I know now that if you qualify and upload your insurance card, they're going to try to do some sort of like mental health type of thing. I'm assuming it might have to do with eating, but they're a big telehealth company. I'm sure they're branching out into other things all over. And I believe those are based on, I don't know if it was 20-minute or 40-minute, 20-minute or 30-minute appointments. I think I read, but so that's something else that they're branching off in. And that's all going to be included in that $79 as long as your insurance qualifies. And again, the reason why my insurance won't pay for it is because it's a Medicare, so they won't pay for any weight loss things, but they probably would pay for that. And I hear some people are getting a discount on that $79 through their health insurance. So another thing to look into. Again, I think it's very good that Mochi has almost immediately with Kita stepped in and said, well, until this is cleared up, we're using other pharmacies. They didn't try to sugarcoat anything. They didn't try to hide it. They came out with their statement. To me, that's the best thing. If something's wrong, admit it, take care of it, move on, learn something from it. And that's, how it should be. So I just received my next 3-month supply from Mochi. Again, I still had one left from them, but I figured, well, there's deadline coming up. Maybe a little stockpiling wouldn't do. The bud date, I think, is like the end of November because it just came on Friday. The only thing that I found weird, and I know all of them do it, I'm pretty sure Orderly did the same type of thing, is that Orderly, I had a 4-month supply, so you would think that you would get 16 syringes, and I don't think I got 16. With Orderly, you should get 12 syringes because it's a 3-month supply, and I got six. But I have a box that I ordered from Amazon, as I think everybody should, because even if you had the right amount one time, I was pushing it in, and when I was pulling it out, I kind of bent the needle, and I'm like, I don't know if I should really used it. So, I squirted it into the other a new syringe because I didn't want a bent needle going into me. I didn't know if it was going to hurt or anything. I know it was still clean, but so it's always good to have some extra supplies. Same thing with the alcohol wipes. They didn't give enough, but I mean, shame on us if we don't have an extra box or just we can't run to CVS or Walgreens and buy a extra box of alcohol wipes. I mean, they're cheap. I do a lot of IVs at work. I tend to come home with a few of them in my pocket just because that's where I keep them, because all of a sudden I'll be walking down the hall and one of the other modalities will say, hey, Lori, can you start this IV for me? I couldn't get it, so I want to have my supplies with me. But, you know, again, that was the only thing that I found weird is that they only gave half the amount of syringes, but small price to pay. Is it time to panic? I don't think so. A little bit, maybe. I have a little bit, but Uh, Worst case scenario, you could buy it from Lilly Direct and pay the 4.99, not the same 199.79, so that makes it 278, not the same thing. But I think with all this stuff and Eli Lilly coming down on their prices and Nova Nordisk and all this the new medications coming out, I think prices are going to go down even more. Me personally, where I would like to see it is around 225 for the name brand and 150, 175 if they're still making compound, because the route that most of them seem to be going now is individual dose with a vitamin B or something in it to help with some nausea. And we'll see how long that works. Again, it's such a big business. Everybody's making millions and millions and millions. They're going to look for ways to keep on going. So hopefully, it'll keep going. I'm sure that if that way fails, there'll be court cases again, stays. They'll find a new way. They'll be, I don't know, mixing it with something else. Who knows? But eventually, I mean, compounding itself won't be going away, but eventually compounding trizepatide or semaglutide may, and hopefully by that time, like I said, if prices come down to name brand for like 225. If right now Nova Nordisk is offering a lower price and it's still in the pens, if they put it in vials, it would still be even cheaper. There's a lot of money to be made. They could make sure that the PBMs don't make quite as much or get rid of them altogether. That would be a gift from heaven, is to get rid of PBMs, um, pharmacy benefit managers, because they make like 80 cents of every dollar, and they're just the negotiators and stuff between all this. And, that's, to me, that's insane. So, cut their salary in half, give it to us, we're the customers, I'm sure they'll find ways. That's the intention. Because again, like I said, 2 quarters in a row, Eli Lilly didn't make what they thought they were. Of course, they still made billions, but they told their stockholders they were going to make more, and they're not doing it, charging 1,000, 1,200, whatever for each uh, month's worth. So they're going to have to lower it and sell it even more, make it more available. Will all of this cause another shortage? I think eventually, yes, my own opinion. So that might be another way that compounding comes back, uh, is some of this shortage self-induced by these pharmaceutical companies so that they could keep prices higher. Very good possibility. You never know. I'm not the only one that has had that thought. I've heard it going around on the internet. So we'll have to see. Time will tell us, and we'll find out. So I know that I've had a good week with my eating. Last week I went out to dinner once, wasn't too good. This week was pretty good. There was one night that like I was very tired and I needed to stay up and spend some family time. So like I ate a couple of Quest peanut butter cups. Just kind of like to stay awake. Not the best idea. Not a good thing just to eat to stay awake. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Because I work like 14 hours a day, pick up a lot of extra days. Then the YouTube channel is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's fun. You guys are worth it. Don't worry. I'm going to keep doing it. Still trying to get at least one video out a day. Hopefully, I can keep that up. I'm a couple days out ahead. Something big happens. Orders might get switched around a little bit. Just like with this breaking news, I was at work, could not get out of work. So like I had a company, like I'm like, this is what I want to say. And I had them do the video, apologize for that because I'm trying to get away from all of that and do the videos myself. Uh, Cheryl says, sure, blame it on me. She's my wife, if you don't know that. But okay, hey, you're easy to blame it on. I'm going to blame it on myself? Nah. So, but not just having to spend time with my wife. There's my cat. Love my cat. Love my wife too. Don't worry about that. Like you do need a little bit of downtime. It just can't be work, eat, sleep. So, like I tried to chill out and watch some TV, but I was kind of like falling asleep and did my best to stay up, and I did for a while, and that's just the way it is. I am trying to not take as many extra days at work, although somehow I got put into a part-time job that I never actually said yes to, but all of a sudden I'm on the schedule. But supposedly it's a very easy job, and I guess I'll do that instead of the overtime. Won't make so much, but I'm the type that like I'm supposed to work 3 14-hour days a week and off four. Usually by the third or fourth day, I'm like bored, don't know what to do with myself. I've been to the gym a couple times, I've done my shopping, and like everybody else I know is working. And it's like, I don't really want to go to the mall and spend money, but so, working is like therapy to me, and I like doing it. I like what I do. I like helping patients. I do imaging, and I've been doing it a long time, and I like it. I like seeing some of the patients over and over. I like, chit chatting with some of them. Some chit chat a little bit too much because they don't give me that much time to do them. But hey, what the heck? I'm gonna get there one day myself because some of these older people just don't have anybody to talk to. So, you get to see them and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know how it is, but that's what happens to some of these older people. They lose their friends, they lose their family, but that's a whole nother topic. Let's get back to GLP-1s. So, I've eaten really good this week. Had a fish a few times. I made a stir fry. I was originally going to do a video, but it takes a while to do the stir fry. Like I could do the chicken up ahead of time. The stir fry itself takes like 20 25 minutes. And like my usual thing is dinner, about 10 12 minutes. Easy peasy, quick, simple, healthy. This was healthy. It wasn't hard. It just took a little bit longer because of all the vegetables, and so that I didn't really have to fry them much and just only use a spray or two of olive oil. I used a little chicken bone stock to partially fry them, partially steam the vegetables. But it takes a while. I did it on my day off. It's just sometimes you just want something else to eat. I am still considering possibly doing a video on it, just, speed it up a little bit so that the video isn't as long. I know, like I said, I know I'm trying to do 10 12 minute meals, but, again, sometimes you can't. Sometimes, even like when I make swordfish, sometimes I get it so thick that even though I want to have 10 minutes, it's going to take 11 to 12 minutes to cook. But I don't care so much if it takes 2 minutes longer. But like I said, the stir fry, because you have to cook the chicken first, then do the vegetables, and add together, then let it simmer. It could take a good half hour, 40 minutes total. So it's not a quick. It's easy, but not quick. So good week of eating. Had plenty of fruit. Had my vegetables. Had my morning protein shakes. I didn't have one today, just because I was just too busy, and by the time I realized that I didn't eat. My wife also didn't eat. It was like 12:30, so I just made us some eggs with a little cheese and mushrooms, which I had left over from the stir fry, and we had that. So it was kind of a brunch. And yesterday was shot day, so we're not quite as hungry as we normally are anyhow. So another thing, shot day, things we can do to try to get extra protein. I start off my day, I have my coffee, I put collagen powder in my coffee that has 20 grams of protein. And just my cup of coffee, 20 grams. Day like today, where I didn't have breakfast or my protein shake, this cup has another thing of collagen. So now I've had 40 grams. I had my 2 eggs, which is like another 20, there's some cheese in there. well, let's call it 25. So I've had 65. I'll probably have a good 30 grams with dinner. So I like to be about 100. I'll be at like 95, give or take. So I'll be happy with that again, because, shot day and the day after, sometimes I have to force myself. I usually put, when I do have my protein shake, I put some collagen in there. Um, Throw some protein yogurt in. So there's another 13, 14 grams of protein. I thought about getting some protein milk, but I actually prefer the almond slash coconut no sugar added milk. So um, I try not to have too much dairy. I don't know why people, all the diets that I've been on all through my life, people have told me that you should cut down on dairy. I guess it slows your weight loss down a little bit. Excuse me, I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't know how true that is. I could actually call the nutritionist and Mochi and ask them and see if they can't recommend some maintenance stuff for me. Um, but that's then I have my protein powder, which has another like 17. So like just my protein drink alone is close to like 45, 50 grams of protein alone. Then I have some protein with my lunch. I throw a little vegetable in my protein drinks because sometimes I can have a little vegetable with my lunch. Sometimes I don't because I'm so busy at work. I'm usually eating while I scan. So and on those days, I try to have two vegetables with dinner. I know a lot of times on my cooking things, I only show one, but I'm hoping people eat a little bit more balanced and actually get a lunch, a physical lunch where they work. Or I don't necessarily legally, they say that I do, and I have to say that legally they try to give me one. I just choose not to kill myself and be even further behind and not take one. But that's that. So new dinners, like I know one day this week we're gonna have lamb chops because I bought them. And tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I have seen corned beef briskets all over the place. They're cheap. Thought about making one, but it's just too much food for two people. If we're really, really, really wanting some corned beef, South Florida here has a deli on every corner. I could just order a corned beef dinner to go and bring it home because not only, is it I mean, the corned beef, it was a nice chunk, probably would have been two dinners and a lunch or something like that. Two dinners for two and maybe one lunch. Um, and you got to start with the cabbage, which, is a lot. And then if you want a couple of potatoes and carrots in there, that's a lot of food, especially just for two people. So, um, probably the same price if I would buy all the ingredients at the grocery store and have made it myself since I'm not working. But again, if we're really feeling that we need it, I'll just go to 3Gs, 2Js. There's like five other delis in the area and just get a corned beef dinner to go. Or well, I would say eat it there, but I'm sure it's going to be packed because it's St. Patrick's Day. So again, if you're going to go out for St. Patrick's Day, it's fine. Have some corned beef. Have a smaller portion. Little trick with that, maybe put it on a smaller plate. Potatoes, they're not so bad because they're not fried or anything like that. They're steamed or boiled or cooked in the gravy of the corned beef. So, if you have a couple, they're like usually the little round new potato type things. So not too bad. Carrots, yeah, they're a little high in sugar, but not too bad. Just, moderation. If you're going to have a beer, that's up to you. I mean, your calories. I always tell people that ask me about alcohol, moderation is the key to everything. Some people don't even stop eating what they normally eat, they just have smaller portions. I just am choosing to do a healthier lifestyle in general. So I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier, a little bit less processed foods, a little bit less, hardly zero takeout food, except we do have one little salad place that's pretty healthy. Um, and, if you are going to do just have smaller portions or just have a beer, it doesn't mean you also have to have dessert with everything. But again, if you do, the day after, start all over again. Just, remember with alcohol, uh, GLP-1 slows down the digestion. So you eat less, it slows your metabolism down. You're going to get drunk quicker. It might taste different. You're going to feel the effects. There's actually studies that people on GLP-1 medication, they are spending a lot less on alcohol. Some of them, don't even have the taste for it. I know that, like my brother, who lives across the state, he used to have 4 or 5 cocktails a night. If he has more than one, he just doesn't feel good. So he has one. So there's a plus thing to the GLP-1 medications. Now, they're also doing studies on alcohol and narcotics and gambling. You don't hear too much about that anymore because all the new ones are more on, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and sleep apnea and heart disease and how it's helping your kidneys. It's like this is miracle drug, and it probably is. Liver disease, and if this stuff could, get approved for all this stuff, the more things it gets approved for, the less likely insurance is going to find a reason not to pay for it. So that's all a good thing for us that all these studies are being done and all these new uses are being found. So, let's cheer them on for doing all this because it's a good thing. So, who knows? They say it also stops a little bit of aging, which may be true to a point, but then how do you explain the Ozempic face, Ozempic butt, and all that kind of stuff? But that's from rapid weight loss. That's really not from the medication. I have a video that I'm working on now, uh, basically for that, and what could be done. And the thing of it is we lose collagen a lot every decade that we get older, and elasticity, which is why when you're in your 20s and you're pregnant and you have the baby, your stomach comes back a lot quicker. Now, granted, when you're in your 50s, you can't get pregnant, but if you could, it would be a lot slower, that recovery and the elasticity and so forth. So again, somebody losing rapid weight in their 20s and early 30s, their skin is going to take it a lot better than somebody like me in their late 60s. That's just life, and then there's fillers, very temporary fix. Um, is it worth it? Anyhow, you'll have to see the video. I'm like almost done with the script for it, so hopefully you'll be seeing it in about 2 weeks or so because I have a bunch of videos already made up. Um, got one coming up on foods that you should avoid. Had one today that came out a couple of hours ago on adolescents taking GLP-1s and the problems that they're facing, and then insurance is even tougher and picking it up on adolescents that it is on adults, and special things you have to go through because they are adolescents, and not only are you treating the patient, you're treating the parent and so forth. Again, very interesting video, not a long one because I didn't want to like dread on that topic. I didn't want YouTube to market for older audiences only, which they did on one of my mental, health ones, which like I'll no longer put that in the title of mental health. I didn't get a strike. The video just, was meant for mature audiences only. And when it does that, it's very hard to get seen on any algorithm or any recommendations or on any end screens or anything like that. So it's almost worthless. Thought about putting it down and renaming it, but right now I have enough. If it came down to it and I really needed a video, I could do that. I'm trying to make my videos a little bit more interesting for you guys. I'm throwing in a little bit of animation, little intro, outro stuff on some of them, just to keep everything a little more interesting. I've changed my like and subscribe button, so now I have several of them, so that you don't have to look at the same one every time. Uh, so these are the changes that are coming. Other videos that I'm working on, like I said, is on aging, uh, hair loss, which again is not a GLP-1 thing, it's a rapid weight loss thing, and things that you could do to help it, to avoid it. And if you do get it, that it's only temporary, and what you could do to help speed up the process of getting your hair to come back sooner. So that's coming out soon. Another one on grocery shopping. Uh, any ideas that anybody wants, please let me know. I have a couple cooking ones that are still waiting to come out. Uh, Again, like I said, this is not really a cooking channel, but like I had one of my subscribers who's also a friend of mine tell me that I don't even know how to make fish or how to make these quick dinners. So I'm like, well, let me make a little series on there and show people because it's easy and it's quick to make that 10-12 minute meal. And like I always say to my wife, if I came home from work and said, I don't feel like cooking. Let's go to Just Salad or, somewhat healthy place. Um, Carry out a couple of the Mexican ones. Chipotle's, you could get some, fairly healthy stuff from. By the time we would get into the car, drive over there, order it, get into the car, drive home, my meal would have been ready and we would be eating it. So, like, that's the whole idea of the 10-12 minutes versus, a longer meal because you could have it same time, healthier, and you know exactly what's in it because you're putting in it. Uh, and in this series, I'm trying to have a couple of less expensive ones because somebody else said, well, I can't afford $35 for two pieces of fish, or, so trying to throw some less expensive stuff in there. Uh, I don't have separate um, playlists for that. So, like I kind of mentioned it at the beginning that this is a less expensive one. And it's kind of funny because I figured, oh, I'm going to have like 6 or 7 recipes in there. And, that's about it. Like I'm up to about 30. And like I said, I still have like 4 or 5 more that I'm about to. And, to have 30 or 40 healthy things, and rotate them, that's pretty good. So I'm kind of running out. Anybody have any ideas? It's like, okay, so you could grill your salmon, you could air fry your salmon, you could poach your salmon, you could you could barbecue your salmon, you could smoke your salmon, but that takes hours. So that's where we stand with that. But I am always looking for some new ways and new things. Been throwing a couple of toasted almonds on some of the fishes. That's been very tasty, and almonds are very good, a very good natural, healthy oil. And I also tell people we have to have our oils, our good, healthy fats. And sometimes you have to have fat to lose fat, as much sense as that is. What do we have over here? Bake it. Yes, we could always bake the fish. I've done that too. I coated it in Parmesan, and panko. We could also take these like protein pretzels that, since we did that video, we have a lot of, grind them up and use that. My wife loves the toasted almonds, and I just throw them in the air fryer for like 6 minutes. No oil or anything added, and they get nice and brown and toasted. add them to the fish, just give it a good taste because, nuts are very, very healthy for you. Like I said, guacamole is another good healthy oil. Olive oil, again, you need to have these fats in your diet. It should be a well-rounded diet, not just protein. You need your vegetables, you need your fruit, you need your fats. And the ways there's ways to get it, while you're eating your fish, or throw it on your chicken. Chicken with toasted almonds, that's delicious too. I've had that. Or Parmesan encrusted chicken. It's delicious. Air fry it, bake it. You know, we I can't remember when the last time that we used our oven was because it's just the two of us. So it's like air fryer, way to go. Less electricity, tastes better, quicker. What's up here? Pistachios. Pistachios are always good. Uh, I just threw some out because they were stale. So if we're going to have pistachios, we have to remember that we have pistachios and actually eat them all. Just saying, that's just, but again, we're trying to get out of the habit of eating something just because it's there and not because we're hungry. I would rather throw it out than to shove it in our face when we're not hungry, because that's the type of thing that got us into the situation that we are in now. So again, a whole new mindset, whole new way of doing it, a whole new lifestyle, and that's part of it. So, uh, if I'm not hungry for breakfast, because I'm so busy sometimes on my days off, I have my cup of coffee, I do my little morning chores, I play with my cat for a couple minutes, I go to Hot Works, do my little workout in the sauna. Then I go right down the street to the regular gym to do my weight training. And then, like, if I have to go to the grocery store or the car wash, they're all in the same area. By the time I get home, it's like 11, 12 o'clock. If I don't feel like eating, I'm not going to force myself to, because, you know, eating just to eat, I mean, isn't that bad for us? What do we have here? Greetings from Australia. I have a very bad accent, so I'm not going to even try it, but way to go, Danny, mate. Glad you could join us from Australia. Uh, Big time difference, so it's probably late there. Uh, always wanted to go to Australia. Honey, you think we could go to Australia maybe in another year or so? That's on my to-do list. That's on my bucket list. Go to Australia. But Danny, I'm glad you could join us. We talked very briefly about Akita having to stop making their meds and selling compound, that Mochi is switching around to find other pharmacies. Will this create a shortage? Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk have dropped the prices. New meds coming. Hopefully, this will drop prices even more. And that's pretty much what we're talking about, how we're eating, how we're changing our lifestyle. I'm trying to get my wife to do a little bit more exercises now. She has COPD, so it is hard for her. I'm trying to get her to at least walk. So maybe after this, honey, we'll go take a walk. Uh, Chair exercises. Maybe we'll put a video on from YouTube of chair exercises and see what you could do, because you need to move around. It helps. It helps with your circulation. It helps with your bowels. It helps burn calories. It makes you feel better. Uh, I started this journey. I just wanted to lose a little bit of weight. I didn't even plan on getting down into the normal BMI. Hi, Shaquille. Glad you could join us. So I wanted to just start off by losing 25, 30 pounds. Then, okay, I think 145 was the lowest I was in like 20 years. So that's what I wanted to do. And like I was reaching it, and I'm like, you know something? This isn't as hard as I thought. So maybe I could go ahead and get into normal weight BMI. And I know BMI sucks. BMI is not a very good way to measure your weight because a muscle builder, just with their weight alone, will fall into the obese category. And you look at some of these muscle builders, they're not obese. They are changing that, did a video on that. It's going to take a long time for it to officially change, but there are other factors and so forth. So then I got into the normal, and I'm like, well, I want to get a little bit lower in normal because if I gain 2 or 3 pounds, I don't want to be popped back up into overweight. And then once I got to about 120, I figured, okay, this is about good. Just 1 or 2 more pounds, and I'm there. So then I figured, okay, let me start maintenance because I hear a lot of people still lose weight on maintenance, and I did lose 2 more pounds on maintenance. And there was one day that I got down to 116, but that's the main, you're going to go up and down 4 or 5 pounds, which is why they tell you not to weigh yourself every day. Guilty of that. I do that, but I am aware, and it doesn't bother me if all of a sudden I am up 3 pounds because I know that in 2 days it'll be back down. As long as you know it. I personally use Renfro scale. It keeps track of it. It tells you how much of it is muscle, how much of it is bone, how much of it is water, how much of it is protein. Don't know how accurate it is, but it's a guide. It's a tool. It's something to go by. If those all go up or down, then you know that there might be a problem. Uh, yeah, we had somebody from Afghanistan and Australia. Yep, Carol, we're just getting people from all over. And Shaquille, you're in Bangladesh, right? So we're just um, multi-nation channel here. Nothing political, not meant to be. We love everybody from every country. Uh, so that's just the way this channel is. I will never promote anything politically, although sometimes things will get mentioned that are political. For example, um, the FDA is going to be enforcing these compound companies to be stopping producing and selling and so forth. And yet, our current administration has fired almost everybody from FDA. So how they can enforce it. But again, we're not political, just kind of brought that up as a humorous type of thing. So I have a feeling they'll be coming back to their jobs. So again, not meant to be anything political, but it is kind of ironic that they're going to be the ones policing this and they've let most of their staff go. So, yep, Shaquille is from Bangladesh. I hear you guys are having a big holiday there, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Um, I'm not a very religious person. I like to think that I'm spiritual, but any religion, any spirit, anything is welcome on my channel. Uh, again, you talk about mainly GLP-1, but sometimes other little side things come up because I do tend to go on little side tangents, as you could tell. But who doesn't? So those are the videos that I have coming up. If there's any topics that anybody wants me to specifically address, please, my Facebook page, Lori Eisman. I also have GLP-1 Journey and Review on Facebook. You can mention it on my YouTube channel, comment on any video. I do keep up to date with my comments, and I will be more than happy to. I had another sub that asked me to do one on insurance benefits. Uh, I didn't really have the time to research it, so I laid out outline and gave it to somebody else to actually do. But they did enjoy that video, and I got several positive comments from it. So I know I'm working a lot, and I'm trying to switch to at least have 95% of the videos me actually doing, but sometimes things come up at work and I just can't. It was like the latest one on the There's news with Akita. I was working 2 14-hour shifts. I just didn't, I couldn't do it at work. That would be wrong. So I did have to outsource that video to be done. And again, back and forth with the person doing it because I wanted to say specific things in specific orders. And I wanted it right away. So, uh, oh, grammar police is after me. Yes, thank you, Carol. She is the grammar police of this house. She will make sure that I use the proper uh, wordage and the proper um, your and the proper there and the proper weather. And I always say, hey, honey, is this the right one? Hey, honey, is this the right one? Sometimes I know I just want her to think that I need her to check it. And sometimes I'm bullshitting. Don't really know. So spelling, forget it. Terrible at spelling. As you can see on some of my videos, sometimes I have to like respell things and check things. So uh, I do listen to my subs. I do appreciate all of you. Uh, I am doing at least one live a week. It tends to be on Sunday. Tomorrow, I am being interviewed on the downsized. It'll probably take 4 to 5 days for that to come out. I've asked them to do a live, be a guest on one of my lives. I don't know if they will or not. This channel might be a little bit too small for them, but we'll see. I'll talk to them about it when I do the interview. So that's something to look forward to. They're actually going to be interviewing me tomorrow at 2 o'clock my time. So again, they usually put those out like 4 to 5 days later. I don't know how many they have ahead of me. So they tell me within 4 days to a week afterwards that it should be up. And, unless again there's huge breaking news, which seems to be happening a lot in this GLP-1 world. And it seems that the breaking news always seems to come out on Friday, which is the worst day because I work like a 14 to 16-hour day on Friday and then another 14-hour day on Saturday. So it's a little hard for me. So you might see some quick lives or something like that because that's the quickest way and easiest way for me to get them out. Because I don't really have time to do a video because I am working, but I can probably sneak away with like a 20-minute lunch, ha ha ha, and try to do a live or something and at least inform you. So please hit that like, subscribe, share. I want to keep getting this news out to you because it's very important, and we need to stay up to it. Like I was saying to other people, like things are changing so much. I was actually talking to Christopher and Lorraine Jerome from the Downsides that they're changing so much. My head is spinning. There was one day that they actually did 4 lives in a day because they just kept getting new updates, and they're like, "Ugh, we have to bring this up to our people." And they're very fair about that because their channel is sponsored by Mochi, and this wasn't a very positive thing with Mochi, but they reported anyhow because that was the right thing to do. They didn't care if Mochi stops promoting them. I don't think that they will, but to me, doing the right thing is better, and I applaud them for that. Let's give them some fireworks for doing that, or confetti. Yay! They did the right thing. So let me turn that off. It could be a little annoying. Okay. So that pretty much concludes this live. Anybody have any questions or want anything particularly involved? Again, just let me know. Be more than happy to oblige. I can't get this to go away and see my comments. Hopefully nobody's commenting. I guess I could put this on my phone. But anyhow, I'm going to end it for today because you're probably tired of hearing from me for over an hour. And I'll try to get you another live Maybe if I have time, I'll do a quick one on Wednesday, and then I'll probably see you again on Sunday. Sunday seems to work really well for me because every place that I work tends to be closed. So, I got my check back. Uh, they all tend to be closed on Sunday, so it gives me time to do whatever. I try to do a couple videos and do a live. Again, I like to have 4 or 5 videos ready to roll because, again, sometimes I just work too long of hours to make them. So, like I said, I have one coming out on hair loss. That's not going to change if it comes out tomorrow or if it comes out next week. It's still the same type of thing. So thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you have a good weekend. And just be kind to yourself and don't be too hard on yourself if for some reason you do a little bad eating or something, because we're all human. Again, lifestyle. It's going to happen. You're going to have bad days. Just don't have too many of them. Just don't have bad day after bad day after bad day. And we'll all get through this. Again, I have a good 6 months, 7 months stockpile. I'm not really planning on stockpiling anymore. I think they'll still be able to get the compounds. That's where we stand. A little bit of panic, which is why I have the backlog. But so I'm signing off for today. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.